So one of the things I wanted to do was test the Insta360 X4 alongside the GoPro Hero 11 with the media mod. Test the audio. As you can see right here, I've got the creek, right? And I've got both of them just about, I'd say, a foot away. The media mod is like this mini shotgun mic. And so far with the Insta360, I've found the audio to be pretty good, but the creek itself is pretty noisy. So what I'm gonna do in this video is basically go through different places that are gonna have noise and not noise to see how the two compare, because audio can be one of those really hard things to really get right. And with the media mod and a DJI wireless mic, that's the best. But there are problems with it. Like, you forget how fragile it is. And I found connectivity issues. Like, I'll be going along and suddenly realize that the connection between the transmitter and the GoPro got disconnected or slightly is a little bit off. And so it can ruin the whole thing. Luckily with the DJI mic, you've got a backup recording, but still, it'd be fun to just be able to record on the fly. In situations like this, of course, it's probably not advisable. So let's move on. In my last video, I suggested the Insta360 makes filming fun again. And I really do believe in that because it kind of gives you some flexibility. But at the same time, using a GoPro or other type of camera gets you to think like a photographer, gets you to think ahead of time and look at different shots, like different places and go, okay, could this be a little nook where I could go and talk? And it might be beneficial. The lights might not be that great this way. So could I find a little nook, get out of the wind and have it be a little bit better? So you might be thinking about that. With the Insta360, you're not. You're just walking along and you're like, okay, well, I could get the lighting a little better by swinging around, but in general, I'm going to rely on the camera to capture all kinds of other stuff and maybe angle it a bit differently. Having a GoPro or a camera kind of stretches your creativity a little bit, and that's kind of fun. And so it's kind of fun to use both. But if I had to choose between one or the other, I think it would depend on what I was doing. Like if I were doing international travel, I would definitely take the Insta360 because you could do all kinds of different stuff. I get the long pole and just have so much fun with it. But for just like walking and talking and doing like regular camera stuff and every once in a while capturing something, considering that you have to use the app, it's a little bit of a learning curve. I still haven't learned some stuff on there. So what's cool about the app is that if you're not really into editing, I could see where it might cut down because of the AI functionality. It might cut down on your like editing time. It might make editing more fun. I really have to play with it a little bit more to see. But in terms of like just general usage, it is cool to just, I like using it, but I can't tell if it's because it's a different camera, and so it's just kind of fun to use new things, or if it's because of all the things you can capture with it. My biggest concern, of course, is that you have all those little doodads and accessories. Like, I can't really use the DJI mic with this right now because I'd have to get another little accessory and it makes it stick out. It looks like all those little things that make it stick out is kind of like the Osmo Pocket. Osmo Pocket has all these little like accessories and makes it all like a totally different thing. By the time you get done, you've got this like big old thing that wasn't what you thought it was going to be in the beginning. And so I see that happening with the Insta360. You've got all these type of accessories and whatnot. And so far I found that the audio isn't too bad. I mean, the audio on anything could always be better. Now, of course, it might not be like podcast worthy audio, but as long as people can hear you clearly, then I think it's totally doable. If you're worrying about audio and being all cinematic, the more things that you kind of pile on and start to worry about, the more it drags on your ability to just kind of grab the camera, go and start sharing ideas. So I don't always know what kind of angles to get with the GoPro, so I just try pretty much anything and see what happens. cinematic, do the storytelling, do this, do that. And you get so like wrapped up in what other people are doing, especially at the top of the food chain, let's say on YouTube, that it crushes your spirit quite easily, especially if people come upon with different comments or they give a thumbs down on your content. It's like, you know, you got to have the foundation to weather through all of that. You know, another thing with the Insta360 is that if I'm stopped, I'm going to set this thing up on the tripod because it's got that little bubble thing. You know, I'm worried about the lens and I don't have a cover for it right now. Whereas with the GoPro, I just, you know, I kind of throw that thing around all over the place, which is kind of fun to not really worry about it so much. But so that's one other little factor. I'm up here looking at the mountain. I'm going to see what it's like to try to get some shots with the GoPro. Like here I am with the GoPro and I've got the mountain in the background. Obviously the light is not going to be conducive for me, but it looks good for the mountain itself. I'm going to turn this around. And now I'm going to switch over and do it with the 360. Let's see what you think. Okay, here I am with the Insta360, and obviously I can just have this going, talking to you, and have it film the mountain at the same time. Huge benefit, right? But you know, how does it compare? You know, I have it at 5.7K just to give the GoPro a chance. But so there's benefits to both. Like there's a little bit more creativity with thinking ahead of time, but there's also some dang good shots that you wouldn't have thought of that you can get with the Insta360.